Welcome to Psychwalker Studios. I am Jake, a PhD student in clinical psychology and lifelong fan of LEGO Star Wars. In this video, I will be reviewing set number 75413, the Republic Juggernaut, aka the most controversial summer 2025 LEGO Star Wars release. This set comes with 8 minifigures, 813 pieces, and retails for $160. Yes, you heard that right. When this set was announced, there was a ton of discussion about the price per piece, the minifigures, and the scale of this thing. And when early reviews started surfacing on YouTube, it got much worse. So much worse that a large portion of the LEGO Star Wars community are refusing to purchase this set. There's also a boycott LEGO hashtag and movement going around, and needless to say, people are not happy about this one. But as always, I will give you my honest opinion and will attempt to drown out the noise to provide you the most quality and true review that I can. Let's start by taking a look at the minifigures. First, we have a brand new Ki-Adi-Mundi, and I don't have much to say about this one other than I think it's pretty perfect. There isn't anything I'd change about it, really. The updated torso is nice, as well as the new boot printing. I like the facial expression that we get. He's got some back printing and his hood showing there. Here's a side-by-side shot of the 2018 Ki-Adi-Mundi from the Jedi Clone Battle Pack there on the left. As you can see, there are notable differences with the belt, collar piece, and face print. I think the new figure overall is an upgrade. Next up, we have 3 Galactic Marines. I was not prepared for how much I'd like these figures, to be honest. The new dual molded helmets are obviously a standout. I love the color and the detailing on the torso and leg prints. The only thing that would have made these perfect are waist capes. If LEGO is going to start charging this much for sets that don't deserve a price so high, at least give us perfect minifigures and start releasing waist capes again with the clones. Next, we have Commander Bakara, and again, I love this minifigure overall. I thought the helmet may be a bit too bulky for me when I saw the images, but in person, it's not too bad. The shoulder padding on the left side of his torso there should cover up a bit more space on his chest. LEGO has gotten that right with figures in the past, so I'm not sure why they didn't do that here. My only other issue is, again, like the Marines, there is no waist cape. Then we have 3 regular battle droids, and yeah, I don't have much to say here. At $160, we could have got a wider variety of droids here, I suppose, but at the end of the day, this is what we got. Now on to the Republic Juggernaut itself, aka the Clone Turbo Tank. And to be honest, it feels like a crime calling this thing a turbo tank. Maybe that's why LEGO called it by its legal name. They knew throwing the word turbo on this thing would be borderline false advertising. But jokes aside, this thing is not good. I'll just go ahead and say it. My one real positive is that it does look like a Juggernaut. If I saw a picture of this and didn't know what set it was, I'd be able to tell you what it is. If you've watched my reviews up to this point, you know that I'm not a huge stickler for the descaling itself. However, with certain vehicles and sets, I definitely am, and this is one of those cases. Look, it's just too small. I'm not breaking new ground here by saying that. I will get into the play features on this thing shortly, but first, I do want to address the durability issue that many people complain about and seem to have present with their Juggernaut sets. As you can see, I am picking this thing up from the top of the set at all angles, and surprisingly, it is staying together well and nothing is falling apart. I know a lot of people are having issues with this, but luckily I'm not, so that's a plus for me here. Now on to the play features. There is a stud shooter on top of the Juggernaut, as always. Watch out for the eyes. Then there are panels that you can pull off on each side of the set, which reveal a little cockpit area with enough space to fit a figure in. Then there is an open space behind the cockpit area, which doesn't have a specific purpose. I suppose you could place weapons in there or something. I don't know, but it's there. You can also lift up this section on top. There's also a spot on top of that opening where you can place a Marine to man the stud shooter there. However, when you place him in this position, you cannot access the panel which leads to the interior cockpit area. It's blocked by the placement of the figure, so that kind of sucks. On the other side of the Juggernaut, there are more panels that you can fold, which reveal the main interior section of the Juggernaut where you can place your Marine troops. There is enough space in here for about 6 minifigures probably, so I wish they would have included more Marines for us to use to fill in all of the spaces here. I know I was talking positively about the durability on this set, but when I went to remove this panel on top of the set, it did break off a couple of pieces. So yeah, just wanted to be honest and include footage of that happening, but I tried it again and it stayed together. It's worth noting that this panel is not attached at all in any way. It just comes off and sometimes will fall off if you move it a certain way. I also think that's just lazy and unfortunate. Now here is the Scout Tower, which is made up of around 10 pieces and really just looks bad. On top of that, it is also not blocked by any studs or pieces. If you lift up enough, it just simply comes completely out of its space. There's no excuse for this, in my opinion, especially with modern day Lego. Even with a minifigure on top of the Scout Tower, it still does not look good. Here's a space that opens up to reveal the front cockpit area. There is enough space again to fit a figure, but it's nothing too crazy or impressive. Here are a few more sections which fold out and open up a bit more space here. Again, not exactly sure what's meant to go here, but it's there. Another positive I'll mention is the wheel mobility. Although I'm not a huge fan of the brick built wheels, I do like the all-terrain Technic structure here, but do wish it had true suspension like the previous turbo tank. Now here is the 2023 ATTE next to the 2025 Juggernaut. And I really don't need to say much here. These sets are 2 years apart. The ATTE retailed for $140 at 1,082 pieces, and the new 2025 Turbo Tank retails for $160 with 813 pieces. And they both have the same amount of figures. Sure, the new Juggernaut has some new molds and figures, but that does not justify the absolutely ridiculous price jump, especially given the piece count. This Juggernaut set has 200 less pieces and cost $20 more. And as you can see by looking at these two sets side by side, the ATTE is significantly bigger and taller. Their links are about the same, but that's it. The Turbo Tank in universe is much bigger than the ATTE. Overall, this comparison says a lot about what's happened to Lego Star Wars over the last 2 years, in my opinion. So what are my final thoughts on the 2025 Republic Juggernaut? It's way too small. It has an inexcusable price, and it's just not good. It really feels like a spit in the face to Lego Star Wars fans, especially given the previous versions of the Turbo Tank we've gotten. It's a big letdown. The figures themselves are overall great, yes, which is going to account for most of my score here, minus not having waist capes, of course. I love the Galactic Marines in particular. The build leaves so much to be desired, and I wish I loved this set, and I wish that I had more positive things to say about it, to maybe contrast the hate that the set's gotten, but I just don't. Overall, I'm going to give this set a 5 out of 10. So yeah, this set was very disappointing, but keep an eye out on the channel for reviews of the other Summer 2025 LEGO Star Wars Wave sets. And as always, the question is, what do you think of this set? Do you own the set? If you do, let me know in the comments what you think about it. And if not, is it something that you're interested in buying? Regardless, let me know your thoughts. Feel free to give this video a like and to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for stopping by Psychwalker Studios, and until next time, keep collecting, care for your mind, and may the Force be with you.